If you're a projector in human design who's been told to post 3 times a day, always be available for discovery calls, or create multiple low ticket offers to scale, and you're wondering why it all feels so exhausting, then this episode is for you. So, as a projector, you're literally designed to completely revolutionize how we think about work and value. But most business advice and business models assume that you have the same energy as generators. You don't, which I'm sure you already know, and that's exactly why you need a completely different approach. The problem is, as I mentioned, most business models are built for that generator, sustained energy. It's consistent, it's responsive, always building. And when you try to force yourself into those models, you end up exhausted from trying to show up consistently when your energy fluctuates, undervaluing your wisdom and expertise because you're in this trading time for money, which is more of the builder sort of business model. You end up burned out from constantly being available instead of being like more selectively engaged and understanding that you're not here to have like a response-based relationship with clients. You also can end up really frustrated and bitter because you're giving everything away and you're giving your energy freely, but you're not receiving that same energy and reciprocity, especially financial reciprocity back. But what most people don't understand about projector success and the way that you are designed to run your business is that your path to consistent, sustainable revenue isn't through consistent, sustainable effort, right? It's through being more selective and more strategic. And I say this, I work with a lot of projectors, even though I'm a manifesting generator. About 50% of my clients are projectors. And one of the things that I always say to them, and you probably heard me talk about this in the projector sales episode, that out of all the types, I think it's so important that you really have the strategy to support yourself, right? Because we want to make your business consistent. We want your business to create sustainable revenue without you, the human, needing to be consistent. So before we dive into what works, let's address what doesn't. Number one, trading time for money. Charging hourly or creating like packages based on time spent, hourly rates rather than value delivered is not going to be supportive for you long term. You can say in 15 minutes what would take someone else an hour because you have that penetrating aura. You see what everyone else misses. And so the best thing to start looking at, and we'll talk about this a little bit more in a moment, is how can you adjust your messaging to suit that? Number two, following generator marketing strategies or just generator strategies as a whole. Posting daily, being constantly visible. Your power comes from strategic depth. And so you need to really think about, okay, what does a business look like? I say this to my clients all the time. The more you resist your design, the more you resist the strategies that actually work for you. The moment you just embrace it and be like, this is who I am, this is how my energy works, the more you will then open your curiosity and open your receptiveness to doing things in a way that supports that. Number three, trying to serve everyone. Like creating low ticket offers to help more people when your zone of genius is deep transformational work. Does that mean that you should never create low ticket offers? Of course not. Like I have projector clients that have that, but you still need to have that selectiveness about your work. Number four, being constantly available, like offering unlimited support, always on access, memberships where you're constantly being required to be there, Slack support with clients where it's really responsive. Your energy needs boundaries to regenerate. So here's what actually works for you as a projector. There's 3 core elements that I would love to talk about. Number one is taking more of this wisdom first approach to your offer creation. So this does require a fundamental messaging shift in how you present your work. This is probably the biggest thing that I work on with projector clients. This, as well as the sales ecosystem, which we have an episode on. So, for example, this might be, instead of saying something like a 3-month coaching package with weekly 1-hour sessions, you would present that as, 90-minute strategic business deep dives where I'll identify the exact bottlenecks that are limiting your growth and give you a clear roadmap to breakthrough or something like that, right? So it's the same it's almost structured in the same way, but the way that you are positioning it is going to immediately set about a better boundary before that client is even onboarded, right? You're not selling time. You're selling the expertise and the insight that can solve someone's problem in 90 minutes that might take them months to figure out alone. That's worth significantly more than an hourly rate. So you might have things like strategic intensives, deep dive consultations, educational platforms, whatever it is. Like, it doesn't matter. The thing that matters is like, how can you basically position your expertise at the forefront, which is that's a messaging shift. Number 2 is recognition-based marketing. Remember the sales ecosystem we talked about in the Projector sales episode? If you haven't gone and watched that, most important thing for you to watch as a projector, because as a projector, your expertise is your sales process. That's where everything starts and ends in your business. And your content needs to demonstrate your ability to see what other people miss, right? To see the patterns, to see the blind spots, the insights that make people think, I never thought of it that way, right? So your lead magnets become showcases of that wisdom and that expertise, right? So it could be a comprehensive guide that solves a problem, not sort of surface level tips that anyone could Google or get from AI, like what is the insight that only you could have, right? And then it should be incredibly clear what steps they need to take with working with you. Like, what does that actually look like? Little things like Instagram highlights, why should you have to tell people when your business assets can do that? And this is all outlined in the Projector sales episode in more detail. Number 3 is selective client engagement. Like, you need to be working with the right people, not everyone. And that probably means having a clear criteria in your mind for who you work with, like separate to your messaging. Like, what makes you feel most recognized? Like, are you creating content on the topics where you feel most seen and recognized, right? Like, you really need to bring that into the forefront of all of your strategies. Like, I feel most recognized when, I feel most seen when, right? What does that look like? Who are the kinds of people that you are working with? You need to get clear, because if you're not clear, your messaging is probably not attracting the right kind of person, right? You might also have application processes, especially if you are doing things a little bit more in depth. Maybe you do one-on-one coaching work, or you design websites or something where you're really, engaged with the client. This can help people self-select, but it also gives yourself permission to say no to opportunities that just don't feel good, where you don't feel that recognition. And it's not about necessarily being exclusive. Like, you can scale your business, you can go one-to-many, but it is about creating offers and attracting people who really value your guidance and can implement your insights. And that, this whole episode could start and end with your messaging, right? And the sales ecosystem. Like, if you are positioning your time at the forefront and not your expertise, like, you're probably not attracting people where you feel like you probably don't feel as seen and recognized as you could in the space that you're in, right? And when you build a business around recognition, selectivity, wisdom and expertise sharing, rather than constant availability, your energy output, how many hours you're available, everything starts to shift. Like, you'll start to notice that you work less, but you're earning more because you're leveraging what comes natural to you. You might, in your specific case, you might actually be working with fewer people, but creating deeper transformation because you're working with aligned clients who value your guidance, but that doesn't necessarily have to be true. But the most important thing, and I think the thing that I spend most of my time reflecting back to, especially my non-sacral clients and especially projectors, is that most business advice wasn't written for you. It was written for people who have completely different energy and strengths than you do as a projector, right? And your path to sustainable success looks different because you are different, right? And that's exactly why your guidance is so valuable. And it really starts with you embracing the fact that you are here for your expertise and guidance. Like, the way that your messaging is written will likely be very different to the way a generator message is written. And that's important. That's a really valuable distinction, because your expertise is what we are selling, right? It's not your time. And your business model really starts from that perspective, right? So if you want to dive deeper into building your personalized business model for you as a projector, you can DM me quiz on Instagram at jazzjervis_, or you can go to @bydesign.hq, or you can grab the link below. You'll get 5 resources delivered over 2 weeks. The last resource number 5, is a comprehensive, 25-ish page business model by design. It's a guide specifically for you as a projector that goes deeper into all of this, right? The sales ecosystem, the wisdom first offers. What does that look like to position your expertise at the forefront and not your time? It goes deep into offer creation, content strategy, and sales systems that work with your energy. Come and send me a DM as well on Instagram about how this content has resonated with you. As I mentioned, I work with a lot of projectors and I'd love to hear from you, and I hope this has been really valuable.